4:40 p.m. on this Saturday late afternoon. Wow, look at all those. That's a lot of dust. Anyways, at least let's hope it's dust and not spirit orbs, right? But I am loosely continuing on with what I brought about in my previous recordings, and that of our 250-year celebration, 1776, and of course, this being 2026. And well, this is my t-shirt that I've shown before. But let's go ahead and use a few more props, shall we? Alrighty, so I have turned on the overhead light and brought out some coins and tokens. Now a little bit of background information here as I sit down. A great majority of what I have sitting here took many, many years for my dad to accrue. And I won't say collect, because this is not a coin collection. And I want to be clear and adamant about that. It is not a coin collection. Because after all, a coin collection would require more than just baggies of loose change, if you will, even though some of these are tokens. Okay? And these come from around the world. Not just here in the United States, but from around the world. My dad used to work at a paper factory in our hometown of Otsego, Michigan. Worked there for many years. And many times he worked in what was referred to as the beater room. And bales, very large bales of material would come into the factory and go through what is known as the beating process, to where it would mulch up paper products and so on and so forth, and apparently they would recycle that. But within these bales, there would be a lot of other things. My dad used to bring home comic books as well as other magazines. One time, he actually brought home a paper bag full of shredded American currency that was basically outdated or whatever. And whatever happened to that, I have no idea. But once again, we have a wide variety of coins and tokens, and again, from all around the world. And earlier, I had made a statement about not only pertaining to the minting of nickels, dimes, and quarters for this year's celebration of 250 years, but of a gold or silver, I don't know if they're plated or not, but a coin that was used back then. And so they're coming out with a reproduction of that. And many of these coins here are also reproductions. And oh, we got sirens in the background again. Huh. And anyways, these range from very small compared to my thumbnail to very large. Okay. And this is just like a medallion of something or another. Yeah. And of course, the light might interfere with some of the details here, but you can see how this has been pretty well mangled, and I have worse examples from them going through the beating process. And yeah, mind you, we have a lot here, okay? And this is a mixture of, once again, foreign coins and tokens. But let's go ahead and continue on with what I want to show. So here is a coin, and you might be able to see on this coin it says freedom, and it has the patriotic shield and of course the bald eagle, which was only made official an official national bird through Joe Biden during his presidency. But for almost 250 years, give or take, we were under the assumption that the American bald eagle was our national bird, right? But with freedom, okay, freedom, there's no cash value for freedom. But our government places so much upon that almighty dollar, which has actually caused a lot of loss to our freedoms. Okay, so let's go ahead and set that aside, and we will continue on with another coin here. And of course, once again, this is kind of beat up because of that process, but anyways, we have here the Liberty Bell, and of course the date of 1776. And this is through the History Channel, okay? We can see that. And again, we have the bald eagle, and I believe that on the, well, I'm not too sure. But anyways, so we have 1776, right? And that is the theme, 1776. So here, I'm not sure about this. It says state of, and then Massa. Now, whether or not that's supposed to be like an abbreviation for Massachusetts or not, I am not too sure. But it does say state of. And we have here the Goddess Liberty, 1776. And you see this goddess here, and of course that is the earth behind her. So basically, this is showing that the goddess hovers over the earth. Okay? And of course we got the Statue of Liberty that supposedly, according to the narrative, came from France. But of course, if you really go into the real story of the origin of the Statue of Liberty, it is not that. But in 1776, it was a belief in gods and goddesses because of the Freemason Society. Okay? But for some reason, this country decided to go with this, the cross. Okay? But yet they only talk about God, but never what God. And of course, most will associate this cross with that of Jesus. But you also have to remember that this is, even though you might think that this is in reference to Jesus, it is actually a symbol of death. And you find this symbol in almost any graveyard that you visit here in the United States. Right? And of course, quite ironic that we've now had the death of the 1 cent penny. All right? Okay. Now, just to as far as continue on with a little bit of religious significance here, here's another token that is known as the angel coin, and I had quite a few of these, and I handed them out to different people that, of course, you know, yeah, there we go, angel in my pocket. Okay, that's what that says on the front here. And on the back, I believe it says the same thing once again, angel in my pocket. And which, yeah, to those that I handed these out to, in much better condition than this, okay? I gave away those that were in very good condition compared to this one. Now here is another Well, as far as I'm concerned, unique token because actually this kind of is reminiscent of the sun, right? Well, we should also remember that, like freedom, there's no cash value to the sun, although they are really trying to make money off of the sun through, of course, these sky operations. And in fact, once again, as I've stated in previous content, you can have the sunset of your dreams for a little bit of cash, right? Now, here is a coin that I am not sure if this is English or what, but we have a date of 1792, a few years after that 1776 fraudulent date, because once again, the Declaration of Independence was not fully signed until 1777 or early of 1778. But I came across this, and just because of the date on this, I thought, yeah, okay, let's include it. Now, I don't know if this R that is stamped right here, if that means that it's a reproduction or not. And this is kind of similar to the coin that I was really trying to search for, and I know I still have it, which is that other coin, um, commemorative coin. There we go. That's the word that I've been searching for. This new commemorative coin that is a replica from that 1776 period that they're coming out with, that is gold or silver, or possibly just plated gold or silver. I'm not sure. I've only seen the commercial for it once, and I didn't even really focus in on it. Now this is one that, um, yeah, this is one that I actually would like to dedicate to uh, the channel, Design Guru, or yeah. Um, I don't know your name. And here this coin says, "What's your name?" You know, when I interact with my viewers on this channel, I do like to know who I'm dealing with, you know. And basically just the name. That's all I actually ask for. But yeah, this is kind of fun. And okay, so recruiting for excellence. And well, I believe we have 13 stars there from the 13 original colonies. 13. Okay, and yesterday was Friday the 13th. There is significance in that number of 13, especially with those 13 original colonies. I won't go into detail, but again, we have the cracked Liberty Bell. And what's kind of neat, and there is, yeah, gunk on this, but U.S. Army, okay? And Great Lakes Recruiting Battalion. So there's the state of Michigan. And, well, if you look above the Upper Peninsula there, we have looks like a star that is shining down. Okay. Um, Not quite like the sun, though, right? All right, so yeah, I actually need to take some time to do some separating here of coins from tokens, and most of these coins, being foreign, are not worth anything. There are some. I do have some Italian francs. Is that no, no? The Italian is what, the lira, and the francs is that from France. Anyways, and then I've got um, I was actually going to entitle this video, "You Want to See My Dong?" But that is, a dong is a type of coin. Um, and I'm not sure if it's Chinese or what, but I've got just all kinds. Of course, we got Canadian coins in here and Mexican coins, coins from Spain, and all of these my dad found, like I said once again, in those bales that would come in. Now, going back to this Goddess Liberty, it should be understood that many Native American Indians, or, those peoples that have been categorized under that labeling, believed in a certain goddess. And this even came about during and through that Lewis and Clark expedition. And I'm still going to have to sit down and do that Lewis and Clark video at some given point in time before I completely give up on doing any further content. It's just getting ridiculous, especially, when I got a 20-minute video and it's taken like 3 hours for it to upload. And not only that, I've been having to keep my phone on the charger, and that's why I'm doing this right now, because my phone has been getting very hot. Because I've been having to charge it without my phone actually charging, apparently because AI is absorbing power or something. I don't know, but it's becoming a ridiculous game. And of course, a lot of collector coins for nostalgia purposes, like the Black Bear here, which of course on the reverse, once again we have the American Bald Eagle. Okay, this was the American Hunters Club. And then, well, yeah, I have a few medallions. The medallion commemorating the heroic stand of Masada's defenders against Rome in 73 A.D. Okay, and blah blah blah, King Solomon's Mines, so on and so forth. And this is the obverse of the coin here. And this is, of course, through an evangelistic company from California. Okay. And this is identical. And this is the reverse of that coin. And, well, I'm not going to expunge on that or expand or what have you. And here we have 1 penny from, 1945? Some of those across the pond might recognize this one. And in comparison to our penny, quite the size difference there. And yeah, this is another one that I had quite a few of, and I handed quite a few of those out as well. And it's quite unfortunate that, so many of these are beat up, but I do have commemorative coins of past presidents. Theodore Roosevelt, and as far as I'm concerned, when it comes down to presidents, he was the greatest because of what he actually accomplished, not only during his lifetime, but as president. Well, unfortunately, I'm not one that I can follow along with his motto of speak softly but carry a big stick. No. Well, you might have, during the dog saga that was part of the content on my channel, no, I speak loudly and I don't carry a stick. Now, just to show you some of the coins that did not quite survive the beater, much like setting a coin on the railroad tracks, yeah, just kind of messed them right up. Look at this. See that? And furthermore, yeah, pretty well destroyed, right? And 1,000 pesos. Yeah. Ah, here's a better example of the freedom coin. No cash value. Now I do get a kick out of these teeny tiny little coins. I mean, these are quite small. I don't know if I, let's see, let's, no, that's just going to make everything that much worse, isn't it? Yeah. And, well, I'll show you a commemorative token or coin that is quite relatable to a couple of my friends out there in the woods. Of course, you know I buy peanuts, right? Well, when it comes down to presidents, oh, Jimmy Carter. Peanuts. Yeah. And of course, there's a short description on the back pertaining to good old Jimmy. Here's a jukebox coin, I do believe. Uh, and my eyes are like really bad, and even though I'm wearing my cheater glasses, oh, this is, yeah, I'm still having a hard time seeing this stuff. But I've got quite a few tokens, arcade tokens, and I even have a World War II token for cigarettes through the commissary, and I believe that was through the army. Okay, pretty cool. Got a bird that's punched right through this one. Where that's from, I'm not sure. Another punched out coin that looks like flames. Um, or a really weird looking jack-o'-lantern face. And I'd really love to have a better version of this. It's got a dragon on it. Mortal Kombat. Yeah, me and my dragon. But yeah, this is mighty beat up. Right there, you could possibly see it saying or stamped Mortal Kombat. Harry S. Truman. Yeah. That's a president that from the past that is often brought up under a few different categories, right? Yeah. The car wash token. Here's another interesting commemorative coin here. The crew of the Knights of Saint Iago. And we have a knight on horseback right here. We flip this over. Founded in Spain, 1175. Okay, now that is, within that Crusader period, right? Chartered in USA, and this is from 1972, Tampa, Florida. Okay. Oh, and just let it be known that those that view my channel, and especially those that are willing to give me a like, and especially for those that comment, just remember, you are valued, okay? and you are a star in my eyes. Now this is got value, pass it on. Now this is actually over children and teaching children, I guess, something to that degree, I guess. Ty Beanie Babies official club. Yeah, it's really beat up, but if it wasn't, it might be worth a little bit of something. Original, 1999. A Lincoln 1 cent penny that was possibly shot. Right? Shot by a rifle. Or possibly, I don't think it was drilled through, but. And unfortunately, it was a wheat penny. Some of the more sought after 1 cent pennies. So, anyways, I could go on for hours and hours and hours with what all I have. I mean, this is. Yeah. And just, yeah, a wide variety of this, that, and everything else. But once again, the only real value to any of this is just the value of nostalgia value pertaining to remembering my dad. And he gave me quite a few of these while he was still alive, and then after he had passed away, I came across quite a lot more and decided, okay, I'll go ahead and add them in with the mix. And, well, like I said, I could go on for hours and hours regarding this. I mean, I even have casino chips. and I've got other coins, tokens, medallions, so on and so forth, that I am not showing here. Not for any specific reasons. I just decided not to pull them out. I only basically wanted to show what I showed at the beginning. And I think this is probably long enough. Oh yeah, half hour long. Okay, we shall end this. So anyways, thank you ever so kindly for watching. Take care. Have yourselves a great one. Skywise out.